Hello guys, this is Shriki Liki here with a new Blender tutorial. Actually it's not a new Blender tutorial, it's the old one reloaded or remade, because as you can see here, if I check in as 1080p HD, the video still records itself not in 1080p, but it's really bad. As many of you guys have said in the comment section and everything,
Then,
I think
yeah, don't forget that this actually
to
works.
remake it. That's what this tutorial is going to be about. So no need to wait. Just open up the new, or you don't need the new Blender. You can just use 2.64, 6.2, even 6.2, yeah, to complete this tutorial. So let me just turn on the screencast keys so that you guys can see what I'm doing exactly. So as usual, delete the default cube, and then as we are making a logo, we need a text. That's obvious. And then just rotate it in the x-axis 90 degrees. Yeah, that looks good. Now press 1 so that you can see the front view, and then Control Alt #pad 0 to bring the camera there. Basically it makes it much easier to see everything. This type of view, and then this simple key Control Alt #pad 0 allows us to keep the camera where we're looking at. So basically if I see the text in this view and then press Control Alt #pad 0, this is the view, but I don't need it that way. I need it this way. So I just go to that view and then press Control Alt #pad 0 to bring the camera there. I think you would have seen this in my old that old version of this tutorial as well, but I think I should explain it in this tutorial as well, as some others can see this maybe. So let's go into the edit mode, and then you can write whatever you want to write. I am going to write Shriki pictures. Yeah. Yeah, so guys, but one thing you should never forget is to constantly saving it. I think Blender auto saves everything you do every 5 minutes, I think, or maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I don't know. It's in the you can change that in the user preferences, but I would prefer that you guys save it so that you don't lose the file. Now you can either adjust that or you can adjust this. Right, actually I wanted to make two different what do you say, text a mesh. So just if you guys are making two, it's okay. It looks really cool to have two different types of color, two different types of material on the logo, and another text. Or basically you could have no, don't need to do that. And just select this and then Shift D, and then the x-axis move it, go to tab, backspace, and then pictures. Then adjust it so that it looks good in the camera. Maybe you can actually do this as well. Yeah, you can go to camera and then add the safe areas so that you can just keep it inside those safe areas if you want, but I don't think you need that for this tutorial. But if you guys want, you can just apply it. I don't want it in on my camera or anything. And so now you guys can go to let's say Google You guys can go to Google text web font archive. I will give you the links. Google web font archive. Yes, so basically you get all the Google fonts there, and yeah, so you basically get all the Google fonts here. You can choose whatever font you want, or there's one more website from where you can get the font from. It's called the font, I believe. The font, yeah, so that's the font.com. It's also a great place to get really good fonts. So I have mine preloaded, or not preloaded, I have downloaded it already. So you basically select the text, and then you go on, click on, yeah, it's already clicked, yeah, you go to the, you click on that, and then you just a small information. Offset controls the thickness of the font, and bevel adds chamfer but also increases the thickness. So you could first do, I mean, it's thickness but in a different way. It's basically looks embossed, I believe. I don't know how to say that, but you can experiment with these to find one suitable for you. And extrude, and now if you see, it's not actually three-dimensional, it's two-dimensional. So you can use the extrude to make it three-dimensional, like I'm going to do right now. 0.1 maybe, I think that's what I used last time. Yeah, and then I'm going to give it a depth of 0.03 to see how it looks. Yeah, it looks really cool. Let's do the same with the pictures. Extrude 0.1, and then depth is 0. Depth is 0.03. That looks good. Let's see if we have to do any adjustments with the offset or not. Maybe increase the resolution to 5 for both of them, if you have both of them. Yeah. Maybe I'll just close the gap a bit. Okay, you guys can do these tiny tweaks yourself with whatever tweak you want to have. And then let's go under the font tab, and we can load the font you have. I believe it is here. Yes, it is. Optimus Princeps. Optimus Princeps is a great font, but if you guys want to have small letters, I don't think it's possible to have small letters using Optimus Princeps. As if you see, all of my letters have been turned into capitalized because this font is only available for capitalized letters and not for small letters. Yeah, in some fonts this happens. It's because the depth is too high. So for some fonts you would have to reduce the depth to make it look really good. So I'm going to change it. Still not good, so 0.001. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. No, that doesn't look really good. I'll just keep it on 0 then. Yeah, that's better. Wait. No, that's too close. Maybe a bit more. Yeah. Okay. So that looks real good. And now let's add the material. And I completely forgot that it needs to be on cycles render. So whatever you have, just start it with cycles render. So, or wait, is it cycles render? No. I'm sorry. It's not cycles render. It's Blender render. Oh me. Done. Okay, so let's just add a new material and then call it whatever we want to call it. I'll just call it red because I'm going to give that the color red. And so I will set the intensity to 1 but specularity to 0. And I will use the value of hex of 9C000D. Maybe. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. And for pictures, a new material, and I'm going to call it black because I think red and black, the combination's really good. So let's just make that 161616. Yeah. So now this looks really good, but it does not have any animation or anything. But it still is good. It's not complete black, it's a bit gray. I don't think anyone will notice that, but I'm a bit artistic, so I'm just gonna use it this way. So yeah, save it, and then let's add some lighting. So go to the environment lighting settings and environment lighting settings, please. So paper sky and blend sky. So it looks, as if it's blended, a bit of different color to a bit of bright color. So a bit of darkness to a bit like, it's not completely white, but it's not. I mean, from darkness to light. Maybe change the horizon color to completely white and change the zenith color to completely be black. So yeah, now you can see what I was telling you. It's from the not so dark part to the really bright part. We are going to add a texture so that this does not look the way it is, like the top part is black and the bottom part is really bright, but something like this part is bright and then this parts are not so bright, basically. We can do that by adding a blend texture to it. So let's go and add in that texture. Right now you can choose any one of these, it doesn't matter. Add in, as soon as you go there, you will see it's on world and not on the material or on the weight paint. I believe it's weight paint. So add in a texture and then call it background and change the type to be blend, and then change the type to be world instead of texture. That's really important. And then you need to where is it? Yeah, keep that on quadratic sphere and just drop that down. Yeah, the blend is quadratic sphere, and then should be ramp. And this is supposed to be ease. So now you can see that and that coming with the setting we had under our world here. So yeah, and now you should what we need to do. I should have written this down so that I remember what exactly we need to do. Oh yeah, remember now. We need to select that, do that, completely A, and then you need to move this somewhere around there. Yeah, that will look perfect. And then you need to get the white closer as well, maybe somewhere over there. Yeah, somewhere over there. That looks good. So now we deselect. Where's it? We deselect blend, and then we add horizon, basically. So now, as you can see, the way I told you, we now have white in the middle, the bright light coming out in the middle, and then the black or the darkness outside over here. Brightness is here. Basically this will be adjusted later on according to the length of your text and how close it is to the camera, because right now, if you can see, this whole part is black, and if this whole part is black, you will not see the res or shr either. So we will adjust that later. Might as well do that. That looks good. So now we are going to select this one. Does that work? Yeah, that does work. That looks good. So it's now really bright, but it is still really small, and then you don't want that much black background that your text will not be visible, and we still need to tweak it so that it does look really good. So let's go under mapping, and then the size, reduce the X size to 0.2 and the Y size to 0.3. Let's see how it looks. Yeah, so now as you can see, we don't have that black thing, we just have bright light here and then not so bright white background in the corners. So that way it looks a bit nicer, as no one wants a really black background. So the size of the textures is set in the way that how many times does the texture fit into the space. So by setting 0.2 and 0.3 on the x-axis, 0.2 on the x-axis, the dot from for the background becomes 5 times broader, and that's the same for the y-axis. So basically, it was somewhere over there, and now it became 5 times bigger here. So let's just render it and see. And yeah, before rendering it, just save the file. Sometimes Blender crashes. Whoa, the light is too bright, I believe. The text or the font does not look the way I want it to look, because the light in the background is a bit too bright. So the next thing, to change this, I think I need to reduce the brightness amount there so that it doesn't look that bright. Maybe that helps, maybe. Assume that maybe there, I don't know. Many times it has not worked. So something's wrong. I think I forgot a step that I should have done to make this look a bit better. I will be back to I will be back soon to check. I will check it and then I'll be back to tell you guys what's wrong. So, okay guys, the problem was really simple and I was dumb that I didn't notice it. It was because the light was behind there, and if you see, that now, you will see that it's dark because the light's in the back and not in the front, so it's casting the shadows in front of the camera. So that's why you just had to move the light in the front and then render it to see that it looks the way you wanted it to look. Some people may not have this problem, some people may have this problem according to where their light is. For some people the light is not even a problem. I don't know why I experienced it, maybe because it's 2.66 or something, because when I tried the same thing using 2.64 this problem did not occur, but right now I'm using 2.66. I just downloaded it and I see that there is a problem. Maybe they tried to fix something and they have this new problem now or something. Maybe they will give a new update or something on it. Okay, so whatever, let's just continue. As we now have resolved our problem, let's continue. So select your first font if you have two fonts, and then we are actually going to add a metallic look to it. If you have you have seen the start and you have seen that it had a metallic look to it. So to get that metallic look, I am going to do something which is really simple. It's a really simple thing, but it's time consuming. Maybe it's time consuming because it's time consuming because you guys would because it's something that I can't say that this is how it's done, so just copy what I do and then you can do it. No, this is something that you have to tweak on your own, because as you guys have seen, your font will be something different than mine, and to add a reflection which is like something like over there and then over there requires doing some stuff with mapping and everything. So but the length of my font could be more than yours or could be lesser than the font you have. So it's something that you guys would have to tweak on your own and then come up with the results. I would love to see your results. Yeah, that's saying you need to do it on your own. I can't. I can offer you help if you send me a render image of it, and I can maybe tell you. Maybe I can tell you that this would be good enough, but I can't be exact. It's something that you need to experiment on your own, and yeah, don't forget to save the file. It's something that I have always, saving the file, I always forget to do that, and at the end the file crashes and then I am screwed. So yeah, just add a cloud texture, and then change the size versus size to 1.35. yeah, and then change the depth to 4. So choose ramp again for the colors, and then we have to place these two like really close. So that one I would say 0.519, and for that one I would say 0.53. and yeah, for that one change the color to be completely black. Yeah, So that is how you add reflection. So now let's get to the point where we have to add in the metallic look. So the trick is to, where's the mapping? So yeah, the trick is to adjust here the coordinates under the mapping. Just before that, I would have to change the coordinate to reflection. Yeah. So the basic trick is to change and tweak stuff here so that you can position your reflection the way you want it to look like. So let's try this 0.2 and then under influence turn on what's it called? Color. Yes. Oh, it's already turned on. Turn it down to 2.25. Yep. And then change the blend type to add. So yeah. Let's render it and see. So as you guys can see, you do have reflection, but that's not realistic reflection. That's basically random reflection. Like it's all over the place, but you want it to be you want it to be very exactly wanted to be, which is basically like that, and then like that at the top because the light's coming from the top. So yeah, to do that you have to adjust the offsets so that it perfectly fits where you want it to fit. And yeah, don't forget to do the same with your other font if you have one. Don't forget to add in the same, whoops, not that one, that one, yeah. And in the color, and then check if it's all in the same place. See, the mapping changes. Get it back to the reflection, and then this one is 0.2 and the color is 0.25 and the blend type is add. Let's render it and see. And yeah, don't forget to save it before every. So as you can see here, you see the top part is reflective but the bottom part is not. That's exactly what you want, just a bit higher up. So to do that you need to, as I've already said, you need to tweak with the offset, and it will be different for both of them. There may be something for this and there may be something else for that one. So don't forget to tweak with it, and we will be back after I get my perfect font, or I mean I get my perfect offset when I'm saying, yeah. So we'll be back soon. Welcome back, guys. So now you can see that the picture looks really good. The reflections are on really good on both of them. It looks metallic now. So the offset that I use for pictures is -0.1, and for Shrikiliki it's -0.4 on the y-axis. So that is it. But now if you see that this actually looks brighter and everything, that is because I changed the lamp to a sun. therefore it looks much more good and brighter, and it now really has the metallic feeling of it, even though we didn't add any metallic type texture to it. We just added a cloud texture. So yeah, that is it on making the logo itself. So it looks really good. Think maybe I could tweak it a bit so that the whole edge does not look metallic, but that's for some time later, because I'm not really doing this for a new big project or anything, because I did my own perfect one, which you guys saw at the start. That's like the perfect one, which I'm going to use if I use it in any of my videos. This is the one that I'm making right now is not something that I'm going to use, and yeah, don't forget to save. So it's okay for me if I keep it the way it is and then continue working on it. But for you guys, spend some time and then make it look really good. Maybe get feedback from some other people, so that get feedback from many people and not just one person, because then you can get some idea that about how it should look if it doesn't look really good. So let's continue, and yeah, so let's continue. So my neck hurts because I was working on the computer till late last night, and my neck hurts for some reason. Okay, so it's okay. So if you guys want, you can just stop watching this tutorial or something, because if you guys don't want to see how to dissolve the tutorial, and if you just wanted to see how to make a logo and you didn't want to see how to dissolve it. But if you guys want to see how to dissolve it, you can continue watching the tutorial if you guys want, and if you guys have time. The dissolving part does not take that much time, so yeah. So let's just click on it, and then press Alt C, and then mesh from. So now it is not a text anymore, it is a mesh. So if you guys wanted to do some changes on the font and everything, you should have done that before doing this, because now you can't change the style of the font or anything. It's just the way it is. Can't change it anymore. So only do this if you know that you're perfectly complete with what you wanted to be your professional logo. So let's continue, and let's join them together. Control J. Yeah, and let's add modifiers. Modifiers are not something that you should use a lot, but in some cases you can, because it is simpler that way than doing something really complicated. But yeah, it's not something that you can just add on. It's not good practice to just use modifiers. So this modifier was introduced in the version 2.62 of Blender, and it converts the topology of a mesh to roughly equal sized quads, so that what can I say? Yeah, it's okay if it's like this, don't worry. So that you know, to dissolve it into the small, to dissolve the to dissolve the logo into small mesh particles, remesh modifier is something that you could use. So uncheck that and set arc depth to the maximum of 9, and yeah, save it, because your Blender file now could crash. Maybe it could. It depends on how tough your computer is. I'm saying that your computer is not tough, but sometimes computer, if you have many apps open and everything, and yeah. So also use the smooth shading. Come on, yeah. So see, my computer is getting slower because of recording a video and at the same time working on Blender uses a lot of memory. So let's see if I have record anything. Okay, so let's observe. So yeah, now if you can see, your logo will look something like this in the wireframe mode, because it is now each small quartz. So each small quartz will fly away when you dissolve your logo. But one small problem is that now the whole thing is one material instead of being two different. We can easily, so yeah, don't forget to hit apply, and just remember that you have checked and you have done it perfectly the way it is. Wait, just change that to smooth. Yeah, see, I told you sometimes you can forget stuff. I think I don't need the smooth shading then. Just the mode which was supposed to be smooth. Yeah, I know it's that smart. I mean, if you guys are, then it's great, but I'm not. That I can't remember that many stuff. You know, I'm a school student. I have life, and yeah, if you have seen everything is really good, then just hit apply, and yeah, save it, because it can crash, and your whole file can be destroyed. I mean, not destroyed, but ruined, or how can you say that? Your time will be wasted. That's what will happen to say exactly. So just go into the edit mode. I think you can do this way. Control. Nope, not that way. So just go into this view and then select that, so that you can select the stuff which is in the back as well, and then just select that. So now I can see that the whole thing is selected. Just go to the materials, click on the red one, and then hit assign. That must have done something. Yes, it did. Don't forget to save it. Yeah. So now it looks the way we want it to look. So yeah, now just hit smooth, because it looks a bit good. I mean, it's not something that is bad or anything. See that? No, it looks good. Kind of. For me, it's kind of because I didn't set the reflection correctly, but for you guys, it will look really good. Because if you guys have set the reflections the way you wanted it to be. So, but yeah, don't worry about it. We will, if it's bad, then don't worry. At the end, you will get. At the end, your result will be really good. So, yeah. So none of this flying stuff, when it dissolves and it flies away, it's all what do you call that? Particles. So basically, we are going to use the particle system to create that. But before that, we need to know how many faces are there to create the number of particles. So right now, your face will be something different than mine. Depends on how many letters you have and everything. So just add a particle system, name it just let it be particle system if you want to. I'm just gonna leave it as particle system. So yeah, so the number should be equal to the number of faces you see at the top. So just change it to 4, 5, 4, 9, 4. I mean, it could be different for you guys. If you guys are creating something else, it depends on the size and everything. So for me, it's 4, 5, 4, 9, 4. For you guys, it may be something else. And then the start and the end time. You guys, I would suggest that you guys show what the logo is for at least a second before dissolving it, because if you just directly dissolve it, people wouldn't have time enough to read it. So I will start it at 51, because 51 is 50 frames or 2 seconds. Yeah, 2 seconds, 1 or 2 seconds. So I'll just show them that it's streaky, leaky pictures, let them read it, and then it dissolves itself. So then under cache or cache, however you want to call it, okay, make this step 1 and then save it. Sometimes it does not work really well if you're using the face exactly the same as the face here. So you need so you can maybe keep the face, the number of faces a bit higher than the actual amount. So if it's 4, 5, 4, 9, 4, I'll just keep 4, 5, 5, 0, 0 something. It's only if you are using a Blender version which is higher than 2.64 or something. I have seen that this problem occurs, but if yours is 2.63 or 2.62, then it's okay to keep the number the same. But if it is not, then just increase the number. Then it looks good, and the whole thing changes into the particles and flies away. So like a small part remains there. So just increase the number. So there is a lot of tweaking that we need to do here in the in the particle system. Yeah, I always forget that name. So now I'll just collapse all these. Yeah, velocity. So keep the velocity number to 0 because we don't want it flying away. Uncontrolled, we want it to be controlled. So keep the velocity to 0, and then keep the rotation to be, is that it here? Yeah, dynamic. So the rotation needs to be dynamic. The velocity needs to be 0, and then under physics, where is it? It's not physics, yeah, that's physics. Hit that button there. It does not see, automatically set the number of subframes. You know, I was just I can't do that. I can't. That's weird. I don't know, why can't I do that? Come on. It's not letting me do it for some reasons. It's not an image. Yeah, it's the way I want it to. Or maybe subframes. It's not letting me do that. Okay, so maybe on 2.66, I don't know why it's not letting me do this, but in the previous versions it did let me do that. So I'll just keep it on Nutrient. This is 0.50, that's okay. The mass is 1, so all zeros, and the time step is 0.04, and then okay, so I know why. Because in the earlier versions you had something called threshold here instead of the subframes. I don't know if it's the same because I haven't tried doing stuff in 2.66 yet. Let's keep it on 0.2 or something. No, let's keep it on 0. So we can do this in 2.65 and everything. I don't know why you can't do this in 2.66. If there, I will just complete the animation and see if there's any problem, and then at the end I'll just tweak this so that the problems are not there basically. But I don't think there will be any problem. I don't think so. It's just a minor thing that shows a difference. So on the render, I can never say that word correctly. Render. It's just maybe my accent. Keep the render to none, and then the display to be a point. And then where's the field weights? Yeah, field weights, the gravity to be completely 0. And then don't forget to save it. So I think that will do the stuff, do what we actually wanted to do. So basically what this does is that it stabilizes the simulation. I don't know. So it basically stabilizes the stimulation. So it sometimes fixes some artifacts and everything, but it doesn't. Okay, so let's just go with what we have right now. It's okay. It's not going to create a major problem to what we are going to do. It's just some minor stuff. So, but before we do what we really want to do, we save it, and then we are going to add a force field and a width field. And then we are going to rotate it in y-axis minus 0. Yes. Maybe it's gonna work, maybe it's not gonna work, who knows. I'm just gonna keep it there in the middle of those two. Or maybe not, maybe I'm just gonna keep it in the center. Where's the center right now? With the K? It is the K. Oh, there you go. That's the center. I'm just gonna keep it there, and then I'm gonna add a what's it called? Shift A, pulse field. What's it called? Turbulence. So I'm going to add in a turbulence. I'm going to keep it where the what's it called, the wind is, and then I'm going to check some of the settings here. I'm going to change the strength to 15. I'm going to change the flow or the size to 0.75 and the flow to 0.5. So that is, I guess it will create something. So let's see if it creates anything. It's gonna take some time, as I have said, because I'm recording and at the same time I'm doing the blender, and the blender needs to actually do the, what's it called, the dissolving thing as well. So after you have adjusted the strength and everything here, just press play button or just press Alt A to play it, and then if you play it, it's just gonna come around, and it's gonna take some time because it is making them do it the first time. I mean, after it's completely done the second time, it's gonna be a bit faster than the first time, but not completely fast. So as you can see, each of the particles are flying around, but it's not exactly, I mean, when it starts everywhere and it just goes on and on and on. But we don't want it to start everywhere at the same time. We want it to go in a certain order. We want it to go in a certain way. So for that we have to add in a texture. Yes, a texture for doing this. We need a texture, like everything we do in this, we have to add a texture, because that's the best and the easiest way to do it. Maybe the only way, I don't know. I tried it with the texture and it worked, and it was really easy. So yeah, so it looks really good. So don't forget to save it. Really important thing. And then, so let's add a particle texture. So we go there, yeah, up please, and then so as you can see, it's already under particle system. So add in a new texture, and we are going to call this texture wipe. Wipe is good name. I mean, it's not gonna affect what we're going to do. Like wipe makes it do this. No, it doesn't. Yeah, the thing that is actually going to do this is called blend. Yes, blend again. So this way, as you can see, we are going to use this to make the particles form from one direction to the other. Yeah. You know what? Sometimes I don't even know which way the particles are gonna go away. It depends on this, and it also depends. Oh my god! Yeah, it also depends on this. The way in which the particles go. So choose blend, and then so basically the time is already added into it as something free, so you don't need to you don't need to do anything with the time. So as the time goes on, it automatically knows to affect the particle system, as we have added this as a particle system texture. So as it's a particle system texture, the time is pre-installed or already included. I don't know how to say that. Yeah, so it's pre-installed or something. So if we start playing it now, see, it's light pink now. It means that it has to reload everything it did. Just skip to that part there. So now it talks over there, goes on and on and on. come on, quick computer, quick. I know everyone feels that, like, so basically the turbulence we added was because of this effect of, as you can see, when the thing switches on, it's that effect. The other thing is that you will never see this object get affected in the whole thing. Even if it completes its round till 250, you will not see that doing anything. It just affects this one and not that one. It was really difficult for me to pause. It was really difficult for me to find a way, and then it's a really cool trick. It's changing mapping again, but this time we're gonna change the mapping in a really easy way. It's the simplest thing that anyone could do, and I never thought about it before actually trying it. It is simple. It just means to add a plane. We're going to add a plane. We're going to rotate it in the x-axis 90 degrees, and then we are going to scale it so that it fits the it fits the whole letter. Yeah, just like that. So that looks good. So it fits the letter, and then it's a bit broader than the actual logo is. So now we are going to change this as the texture coordinates for this. Isn't that cool? I don't know if you guys really understand it, but it's really simple. So basically what we are doing with this plane here is that this plane here is going to affect the way our the dissolving thing works, because right now it's only targeting that part, and we wanted to target the whole word. So to do that, what we need to do is that we need to change this into an object, and then make that plane as the object. So now what it's going to do is that that's the coordinate that it's going to look for this. Yeah, we can just simply turn come on. So we are going to turn off the render ability so that it's not visible in the render, but it is going to affect what we are doing with this, as it's going to take the whole thing and not just that part. So we are really nearly done with this tutorial, except that maybe I will add how to render it into an animated video. Maybe I will add that in the end. Just save it. I love saving stuff now. Earlier I hated saving stuff. So, and then where's it? Where do we do that? Yeah, it's supposed to be a wire. Yeah, that's it. Oh no, not that. This is supposed to be a wire instead of being what it is right now. Let's render it and see how it looks. Good. We could add the reflection thing using the glossy texture or something. Let's just make it do the thing once, so that it loads itself up for what we're basically going to do now. So now, as you can see, it starts there, and then it goes to the pictures. At least I believe it goes to the picture. And as you can see, it forms that round and round type thing because of the turbulence field. And it starts there because the wind thing is facing that way, pushing the wind that way first, and then pushing the wind this way, and then that way, yeah. And from there to so it's working the way we wanted it to work. So let's just stop it there and then render it and see. Wow, that looks exactly the way we wanted it to look, doesn't it? Just kidding. So the really easy way to do what we actually wanted it to do is to add a explode modifier. So where is that now? It's the explode modifier. Don't say you don't have it. It's supposed to be here. Where the heck is the explode modifier? Why can't I find it? Don't say you removed it. Don't say you removed it in this version. We can't just do that. Phew. There we go. We have the explode modifier. So the explode needs to be unborn, alive, and dead, and everything is the way we wanted it to look like. Let's just see how it looks now. I mean, after we render it. There's one more method that we need to do, and then we are done with this tutorial. I'm going to add in another tutorial in this tutorial in which I teach you guys how to render animations. So it's basically with this tutorial, at the end of this I'm going to tell you how to render it into an animated video like I have. So let's just see how it looks like now. It should work. Yes, it does, and it looks really cool, doesn't it? So that's done, and that looks really good. So now let's get to work. We need to add some other stuff. So to render animation, the particles just die off at the end, but we don't want it to just die off. We wanted them to fade away nicely. So using the explode modifier, we can use a texture on the UV layer. We don't need to unwrap and stuff. We just need to go to the object data, and we just have to add in a UV map. So I think that's the object data, yes. And then we just need to add in a UV map. That's it. We just added a UV map, and then we go to the texture tab, and then we add in another material. Go there. We add in another material. Yeah. So this material will be called texture. Yeah, that sounds really good. So again, change the type to a blend file instead of okay, change the type to blend file, and then enable ramp under colors, and then so this ramp this modifier takes the color values from left to right all the time. Flip the ramp, which is F, I believe. Yeah. So just flip the ramp and then set it at, come on, ease, and then save. Don't forget doing it. It's a really important thing that you need to continue to do. And then go under mapping, go to UV, and then select the UV map which we added under the object data, and then select alpha under influence and uncheck color. So think that should do the trick. But before that, we need to do something else as well. Under the materials, red, check transparency, select C transparency, it should be there as default, and then change the alpha to 0, specularity to 0 as well. And what you need to do with that is that you need to do the same with the other one, with the black. So just scroll down, check transparency, make sure that it's under the transparency, select it, and then 0, 0, and then save it again. So now it's going to get a nice effect, at least that's what I believe that it's going to get. Maybe it doesn't, maybe it does, who knows. See, now it's gone again because we have changed the settings. We have to redo it, so it loads according to the new settings and it does stuff according to the new settings. So yeah, let me just check if I have some other things that I need to do. So yeah, one more thing. If your shots are really small, may not be really shown under the render. So basically what you need to do is that you need to use the sample motion blur, so sample motion blur instead of the normal vector blur, normal vector rendering. Basically you need to check this before rendering and adjust the settings accordingly. If you guys want to change something there, do that, because that way it's gonna look more clear. And then if your shots are really big, then you can use the solidify modifier, which will enhance the look and add add render time. So but one way to save the render time is to disable the environment lighting and ray tracing and use several lamps to light the scene instead. So instead of using the background as we had, you could use something else, like many lamps, not ramps. That looks really good. My shots are visible enough, I believe, so that anyone can see that. Okay, so the next step, the next tutorial which I'm including with this tutorial, is how to make an animation out of just this. Many people used to do this. They used to go into the texture mode so that they can see the textures clearly. They used to zoom in, and then they used to use the recording software like I'm using here to just record the screen. But that's not how you do it. Blender has its own built-in video editor, and it obviously has a rendering animation thing, just like we render each image. So before telling you guys how to render animations or video files, I'm just going to tell you how to render. If you want to have a picture or anything, how to do that. It's just you render it first into you render that frame out, and then you press F3, and then you save that file anywhere you want with whatever name you want. And you just click save as image to save that image, and then you will have that as an image file. You guys can actually do this as well. Not only you guys, anyone can do this. You can change the format of the image to have any format you want to, and then the quality of the image and everything. What RGBA basically does is that it makes the background transparent if you want to. edit it in Photoshop or GIMP or something. So that's how you render an image out. Then now, so how to render a video file out. Rendering and video file is really easy, but it's time consuming. You just have to let this go so that it completes one loop of the time frame, so that we can do our animation. So I'll be back when this is completely done. Goodbye for now. So that's completely done now. So now you can render your own animation. So you just need to, so it's basically done here. So you just need to go to the output section, and then you see you can choose your destination file. I'm gonna choose the YouTube video. I'm gonna say something like logo reloaded, and then I'm gonna create a new folder, because I'll explain to you guys why I'm creating a new folder for my animation reloaded. I'm just gonna save it under that as logo reloaded. Save. Let's go down, check, keep it as PNG and RGB, and then go up and then click on animation. After you have checked the resolution you want it to be, the frame range, and everything. Okay. So just click on animation. So that looks cartoony to me. I don't know why. Still, it looks cool. Even though it's cartoony. You guys could check, or you guys, I don't know why it looks cartoony there. Maybe uncheck transparency and see if it's still cartoony, then play with the settings. Still don't get it, just send a comment and I will check it and I'll see if I can do anything, because this has never happened to me before. Maybe it's just because of 2.6s and I haven't played with the settings of 2.6s, so I don't know that much about it. But I will find out why it looks like this, and then I will be back and I will post it on the description section that this has to be done to make it look better. If you guys are experiencing the same thing, maybe use 2.65 or 2.64 or something, because I think it doesn't exactly work with 2.66. So what it's basically doing right now is it's rendering each frame, and then it is, where's that? And then it's saving everything under here, logo reloaded. As you can see, it's saving each of them as a picture. Wait a minute, I knew something was wrong. I can't see pictures here. Oh no, I haven't. Oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I haven't given that the same thing, I believe. That's why it's happening. So I'm sorry guys, I'll just delete all these pictures now. I wasted your time. I don't know if it's okay or not. Okay, I just need to change settings here. See, that's what happened. That's why I didn't want it to happen. Check transparency. And then do the same there. I don't know why I did the same thing. Oh my god, I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong. I just need to, it's like that, but also Uh, is this on? So why I need to open this different? The difference between these two, all the settings are the same. Still, it's something that's different there and here. So for now, I'll just say that remove that transparency bar was just to make it look even better than it already looked, but it's not working that way. So just uncheck the transparency. I didn't play with the settings before doing this, making this tutorial with 2.66, and now I'm experiencing some bad and random stuff. Blender, you have ruined me. Okay, that looks good. Okay, so that's perfect. Now you can go back. Yes. Go there. Okay, so now go to there. Go there. Oh my god, it's crashing. Okay, so I'll just save it. So just make sure that's PNG, save it where you wanted it to be, and yeah, if you're doing this as the final one, I will say that you check full sample here, because full sample means that it does the results as if it's doing it for the final one, but like when you're completely done, when you have make sure that everything is awesome and everything, and then do it. And then 8 looks really good, but if you want it to look really good, you can use 16, but I don't see much difference between them. But I'll just use 8 and then full sample if this is my final render, if I have checked all my mistakes, and if I know that there will be no more issues with it, then I'll use the full sample and then do it. But for now, I'm just gonna use this. I mean, I was so stupid, I didn't notice that there was no picture there and there was only Shrieky Leaky, and I'm like, something looks wrong. And then I see that there's, oh my god, the pictures, I can see that. Idiota. Okay, so now I think, see, so each time there's a render complete there, it comes here as a new loaded image. So I'll just stop the video playing now, and then I will be back when the whole thing is complete. I forgot to tell you guys, sometimes it may take a lot of time to render these animations, depends on the computer's power. I would, if I were you, I mean, if you were a person and you're having trouble with render times and your render times are really slow, then as I said, maybe you could just use normal lamps instead of this type of a background. You can use many lamps and make the same thing. You can create the same effect. It's just more time consuming, but still it's okay. You can use that way, or maybe close all other applications and then try it. It will work a bit more faster, because most of your computer's CPU is going to go into Blender instead of going into any other software. And there are not many things that you can do in Blender render, but there are many things that you can do in Cycles render to reduce the render time. In Cycles render, if you have noticed, you have the samples here instead of sample motion blur, and you can reduce the sample so that your render time is faster than you. And this is in both Blender render and in Cycles render, is the tile size. You can reduce the tile size in Blender render, and you can increase the tile size in Cycles render to make the thing bigger. This is basically, if the tiles are basically, if you guys see, if you saw my old renders, there were, the tiles were those small blocks that create the whole render scene. In Cycles render, if you increase it, it increases the size of those tiles 64 times 64 or 128 times 128 or something, to so it basically takes less tiles to create the whole blender scene, but loading each one of those tiles will take a long time. The same way in Blender render, you have to reduce the cycles, not reduce the cycles, reduce the tile size. Then each time it will take a really small amount of time to render out, so it will be really quick. The whole thing will be many people think that that's not possible because each tile will be really small, but it's actually possible. You have to keep it on 16 and 16, x y 16, x 16, y 16. It's really fast. The other thing that you can do in Cycles render, the other thing that you can do in both is reduce the resolution, so that the resolution is less, or less rendering and stuff. And at the same way, you can reduce, I have here is 250 frames, and 250 frames is basically 10 seconds. I think it's 10 seconds, or maybe 20 seconds sometimes. I don't know. Oh no, it's 10 seconds. 25 times 10. Yeah. So it's what I have here is a 10-second video that I'm going to create. Maybe you can reduce the frame so that you're creating an 8-second video. It depends on how long you want your professional logo intro to be. Of course, you don't want an intro which is 1 minute long or something, and your actual video is only 5-6 minutes, because then 1 minute is taken by your by your logo only. So people will be like, oh, what, you're making a really small video with only a big entrance or a big logo. So maximum you could have 30 seconds. That's too long. 10 seconds is basically perfect, but some people will like to have time lesser than even 10. The thing is that if you have a time which is lesser than 10, then how to call what's that we say oh my god, if you have time lesser than 10, then people wouldn't exactly see what's going on. Just the way, I had the animations render from here instead of, and I had the free 50 frames being 2 seconds, so that people can see what I am. If your intro is really short, sometimes people don't completely see your intro, people don't understand the intro, and it does not actually look really good. I mean, I see many videos on YouTube, and I see intros which are really short. Sometimes I don't even get time to read what's on. So yeah, right now you saw each one of those tiles loading up. That's what tiles are, if you didn't know. It's gonna take some time to render the animations completely. You can, I mean, I don't want you guys to get bored just by watching this, and I'm just gonna stop the recording, or pause the recording, and then we'll be back soon when the animation is rendered out completely, as each picture by picture. And then we're going to do a cool thing that is in Blender to make this into an animation. We don't need some other software to do what we're going to do right now. Like,
know, sometimes people think that even if you have each frame, you're going to use software like iMovie or Windows Movie Maker or something, and then have each frame go less than a second, and then create a video which does not really look good. So people from Blender have a built-in video recorder which we are going to use, video editor which we are going to use to do this, because they have made it perfect for us to create it. Many people don't know that because either they are new to Blender or they have seen it but ignored it, but that's how you basically record, not record, that's how you basically make videos. It's right here, video editing. We are going to go in that, but not now. When we are going to go in there when the animation renders simply. So have a nice time till have a nice minute or so. So as you guys can see, I am rendering 10 more frames than I actually wanted. I'm rendering till 260 because I'm stopping here. I just wanted to show show my viewers viewing this video, this explosion type thing at the end, for a bit long time, to show them that the show has ended, or the intro has ended. To show that I'm just keeping it, going to use this frame a bit longer. And the other thing, so that is it. I will press escape key and exit out. The other thing, okay, so if you guys wanted to make a video in which the explosion shots are completely gone, then what you guys need to do is that increase the timing there, and then the life and everything. Not increase the life, but the life, maybe decrease the life or something, and then render it, again, not render it again, render from 251 to the frame where it completely goes away. So yeah. So the next thing you need to do is to save this file and then open up a new Blender file, reload the startup file, and then go to video editing. Or the other thing that you can do is that press Control E, Control E, Control after Control right to change the mode. There are many other modes added which was not there, like motion tracking wasn't there in Blender 2.64, I don't think so, or neither, it was not even in 2.65. It's added, it's completely new. I think I'm going to fiddle around with it and make a tutorial on it, maybe. But yeah, for now I'm going to use the video editing software which is built into Blender. What we're going to do is we press add, and then we press image, and then we click on YouTube video logo reloaded, in which we have all our each and every image. Now if you guys have too much time, you can just go clicking around each of them, but what I would do is that I would just press A and click all of the images at the same time. But if you guys don't want any one of them or something, or if you only want a particular group of them, you just press B and then select it that way. But right now we want all of our frames to select them. When we click on add image strip, for some reason it always adds up somewhere in the middle and not at the start of the video editing program. So we just have to click here and press 1 so that it starts at the starting frame, and then that's what we need to do there. And just change this to 260 because our frame length is 260. frames. Then we change the, if you want you can edit something here, but you don't need to do anything there for now. So you just directly go to properties, you change that to 100 this time, you go down, you change the output to YouTube videos, logo, oops, reloaded, so this gets a name, logo reloaded and accepted. So then what I basically do is I change this to MPEG, and then I go down to encoding. Now if you are a Mac user, I would prefer that you choose QuickTime and then MPEG 4, but if you are a Windows user, you can use any one of them. You can either use QuickTime or you can use AVI with MPEG 4 again, and then you can go up to the animation and click on animation. It looks that big, but it isn't. It's just that it's zoomed in. So now it's a lot quicker than it usually is when it's rendering image, but because that time it was rendering each and every image out, but this time it already has all those images, just has to put them in the correct order in the correct frame. So I don't need to pause this recording or anything. I can just keep talking while it's happening. You can just see what is happening in slow motion basically. As you guys can see here, some charts look kind of really big. I should have used the solidify modifier and everything, but it's okay for me. But if you guys want, you can use them, make a really detailed and a professional logo which looks like really good and in the way you want it to look, and not the way. I mean, I'm not saying that this product which I'm producing right now is the best product. The best product I ever did is the video file I showed you guys at the start of the video, because that one was created long before this one was. That one was created, it was the third experiment I did following these methods, so it was the third time I did this, and that one looks really good. But this one looks really good, but I don't think it looks as good as that one. I will also include the video of this one at the end of my movie. What movie I'm talking about? I mean at the end of my tutorial, so that you guys can see and you guys can see the difference. If you guys like this one more than that one, then it's your own opinion, and I'm not saying anything against that. You can, you know, if you like that one or this one, just like my video. And yeah, comment if you have any problems or anything you don't understand or anything that is not right with your video, then just comment and I will try to find a solution to it. And yeah, it's I will be happy if I can see your products. You can put them in the comments below as the video response, so that I can see your products and I can evaluate myself how good I have taught you guys in this tutorial. If you, yeah, and then please give me feedback on it so that I can improve my video making and tutorial making quality. Thank you. So this is the end of this tutorial, and you guys can now watch my final video I created using the tutorial I just showed you guys. Thank you. Please rate, comment and subscribe. This is a usual line everyone says when they end a video, so just following the order